I want to ask you guys one question. Who makes decisions in your family?
Yes, obviously, women's roles have changed dramatically in the last 100 years.
Their roles are changing not only in the family, but also in politics, science, the economy, and so on.
I didn't notice too big of a gender role difference between America and China. For the most part, I felt like there was this underlying equality that men and women search for, or even success. Everyone just wants to get their fill. And I definitely saw in China that, at least in the educated part of Beijing where we were, men and women could coexist and work together and do some really great things for the world. However, I do not believe that's true in all parts of China, because in America we've had time to adapt to the understanding that women are not necessarily weak or manipulative, but in China, in parts of China, which there are quite a few, where the education is not as stellar as a Tsinghua education or a Beijing education, it's still believed that women need protecting or need to be under the control of a man. When we were in China, I almost felt like our American boys went a little backwards and adopted this mindset to look out for the girls and protect them. I never went anywhere by myself, and while it felt good to always know that someone had my back, I think that's a very interesting gender role to point out, is that men definitely revert back to being the protector. Us as women, I didn't put up a fight. Like, I enjoyed being protected. So that is a more maybe of a human role than a cultural gender role.
I want to share my ideas to all of you. As you can see, I look like a boy, not a girl. To tell the secret, I hope to be a girl, from the bottom of my heart. How could this be, you may probably ask. But don't think me stupid. I'm in love. I have a lot of reasons to explain for that. If I were a girl, my emotion will fluctuate with the physiologic periods come. I will own the reasonable right to be unreasonably crazy when the period comes. If I were a girl, I would need to earn as much as I can to buy numerous cosmetics and luxury clothes. When my money is run out of, I will sell my boyfriend and to meet my desires to being beautiful.
But do you know what happened in the past? At that time, women were under the control of men, and they did not have high social status. Before marriage, they should obey their fathers. After marriage, they should obey their husbands. Even if their husbands passed away, they were supposed to obey their sons. There were housewives and babysitters, sometimes even domestic violence victims. How miserable their life were. Fortunately, all these terrible things have gradually ended.
Wait, it is or it isn't a real person?
If I were a girl, everyone would put some labels on me, like weak and thin. To satisfy what they hope, I will eat only an apple a day, and when I'm hungry, water is always my best choice. If I were a girl, beauty is my resource of attraction, boys are just my clothes. If I keep my beauty, never mind, I will find someone better than you. Every boyfriend I have is merely a station that my life train will stop by for an hour. If I were a girl, I would have the right to be arrogant and lofty. Even if you send me messages like, "Hi, sweetie, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Do you want to have breakfast? Do you want to have lunch? Do you want to have dinner with me? Hi, can you watch a movie with me? I will always be indifferent, as there is a guard to protect my convenience and honesty.
On the boys, and given my involvement in boys' activities, it is not surprising that I chose to major in procedure instrument here. And I've always been an adventurous and active girl. For example, I love fixing things with my dad, and I have strong opinions, and I can be quite stubborn. And I try hard to be strong and facing the challenges head on. In fact, it is not surprising that I got this camera for entering the university. People always tell me that girls don't behave like this, and girls don't behave this way.
When we went out, we saw mostly women dressed up in traditional Chinese clothing, even the kids. And when we went to restaurants and stores and other service or domestic industries, it was still very saturated with women. Of course, we did eat a lot, and we saw many restaurants and men as well work in the service industry. So Taylor and I have come to the conclusion that men and women are in fact working together very well in China, as they are in the United States. So the main difference there is probably the behind the doors things like pay. Women, of course, don't get the same pay as men, and that's all over the world. And we saw a lot of strength celebrated across both genders, which is evident in national acrobatics shows.
Then I think who says girls should be tender? Who says girls should always be quiet? And who says girls can do what boys can? No one. Yes, I am a girl, but more importantly, I'm the unique person in the world. I should be true to who I am. While I'm fond of those activities that boys like, and I like working with my hands, but I also enjoy singing. I love dancing, especially Chinese national dance. I love playing Fuzhou and I love reading books like Meng. And furthermore, I enjoy shopping. I love movies. I really enjoy those unique blend of those activities, and they go together quite well. And fortunately, my parents support me and my interests. They never expected me to act in a certain way. They just told me, be yourself and be happy with who I am.
If I were a girl, I would not pursue the boy I love. I would just wait and wait till the rose dies and until you firstly express your generous love. Then my loving will begin. Waiting makes a girl a girl. Oh, what a pity! I'm not a girl. Being a girl is just my illusion. Perhaps if I really a girl, I will really want to be a boy. Why not enjoy myself with that and enjoy the moments I'm a boy?
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about men's role/dating roles. And when I was in China, I noticed that the guys are very affectionate to the girls when they're dating them, and there's a lot of PDA, and which was shocking because I didn't expect. I honestly think that the guys showed more affection in China than they do in America, and when they don't really date like we do. They think that my students at least thought that dating was this weird thing where you get to know somebody. In their culture, you kind of get to know them before you ever get to the point of talking about being girlfriend and boyfriend. So they automatically have to be friends with them, and they have to, or become acquaintances, I guess, and then they have to do their research. That's the most important thing, is to do your research on the girl you like, because you have to find out what she likes so you can talk about those things and have that stuff in common. So they will get their friends to talk to her friends to find out, what does she like, what does she want to do with her life, things like this, and then they'll bring those things up. So I guess I don't remember when they actually start the dating thing, but they do somehow start it. And they don't do dates like we do. They don't go out to dinner or like movies or things like that. They study together in the library, or they'll eat, dinner in the cafeteria together or something like that. They do a lot of everyday things together. It's not like, oh, I'll meet you at this time or something like that. It's just much more everyday. And actually, my students were saying that they don't do a date until after marriage. That something like what we think, where you get dressed up and like go for an expensive dinner or something as a date, that they wouldn't do that until after they were married. So it was really different in terms of what they would do, that they actually really get to know the person before they ever start the dating process. And it doesn't seem like they date a lot of people, because most of them don't date until college or about then. So the guys really are there to hold the girl's purse and on the subway, saw that a lot, and be affectionate and ride them around on the back of their bikes, just like really sweet things like that. So that's the biggest thing that I noticed about guys and the dating role. That's it.
What does it say?
You're a beautiful girl.
I'm here telling everyone that just be yourself and be the way you are. Don't worry about what others will think. As it has been quoted before, those who mind don't matter, and those who matters don't mind. I'm proud of who I am, and you should be too.
Now, ladies, we have the equal opportunities to compete with men, and most importantly, we are capable of fighting the fight. And gentlemen, please don't look down on this plain woman who is delivering her speech in front of you. Maybe you are looking at China's most famous future doctor, since I myself major in medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you here have a woman for a mother, right? So, as a developed and cultivated society, we should give women equal opportunity and the respect they deserve.